Catherine Westfield stepped out of her luxury sedan, frustrated beyond measure. At 31, as vice president of her father's real estate development company, she was used to solving problems. But her car had other ideas, dying in the middle of nowhere on her way to what was supposed to be a blind date at an upscale restaurant. She'd agreed to the date, mostly to appease her mother, who worried constantly about Catherine's single status. Now she was stranded on a rural road, her phone showing 1 bar of service, and a text from her date asking where she was. A tow truck appeared around the bend, and Catherine flagged it down with relief. The driver was a man probably in his mid-30s, wearing jeans and a gray t-shirt that showed he clearly worked with his hands, handsome in a rough, unpolished way that was completely outside Catherine's usual type. "Car trouble?" he asked with a slight smile. "Obviously. Can you tow me to the nearest shop?" "I own the nearest shop. Hayes Auto Repair, about 3 miles back. Hop in." Catherine climbed into the tow truck, trying not to wrinkle her designer clothes. She texted her date with an excuse, canceling their dinner. He responded with mild disappointment, but didn't seem particularly devastated. At the shop, mechanic hooked up her car to diagnostic equipment, while Catherine stood awkwardly to the side, completely out of her element. The garage smelled of oil and metal. Tools hung on pegboards. Country music played from a radio in the corner. "Looks like your alternator gave out," the mechanic said. "I can fix it, but I'll need to order the part. Won't be here until tomorrow afternoon." "Tomorrow? I need my car today. I have to get back to the city. Sorry. That's the earliest I can get the part for this model." He wiped his hands on a rag. "I'm Connor Hayes, by the way. God. Owner of this establishment. Catherine Westfield. This is very inconvenient, I can see that. Where were you headed anyway? Dressed pretty fancy for a Saturday afternoon in farm country." Catherine felt herself flush. "Wait, I had a date, which I obviously had to cancel." "Blind date? How did you know? Because you don't seem too broken up about missing it." Connor smiled. "There's a diner in town if you're hungry. I was about to take my daughter there for dinner. You're welcome. To join us while you figure out transportation back to the city." Before Catherine could answer, a small voice called out from the back office. "Dad, I finished my homework. Can we go eat now?" A little girl appeared, maybe 7 or 8 years, old, with dark hair and pigtails and a gap-toothed smile. She stopped when she saw Catherine. "Who's that?" says Ms. Westfield. "Her car broke down. I invited her to dinner with us. Is that okay?" The girl studied Catherine seriously. "Are you nice?" Despite everything, Catherine smiled. "I try to be." "What's your name, Riley?" "I'm 8. Are those real diamonds?" She pointed at Catherine's earrings. "Riley, that's rude," Connor said. "It's okay," Catherine said. "Yes, they are. Oh, you must be really rich." "Riley, I just meant she's fancy." "Dad, she's really fancy." Catherine found herself laughing for the first time all day. This child's honest observation was refreshing. Compared to the polished interactions of her usual social circle, the diner was a classic, small-town establishment with red vinyl booths and laminated menus. Catherine felt absurdly overdressed in her silk blouse and tailored pants. But Riley chattered away, asking questions about the city and Catherine's job, completely unfazed by the class difference. "So you build buildings?" Riley asked. "That's cool." "Dad fixes things. That's cool too." "It is very cool," Catherine agreed, watching Connor interact with his daughter, his gentle patience, his obvious love, his complete comfort in his own skin. All of it was so different from the men she usually dated. "Where's Riley's mother?" Catherine asked quietly when Riley got distracted by coloring on her kids' menu. "Not in the picture. She left when Riley was 2, decided small-town life and motherhood weren't for her. I got full custody and we've been doing fine on our own ever since. That must be hard. Raising a child alone? It's the best thing I've ever done. She's my whole world." Connor paused. "What about you? No kids, I'm guessing." "No, I'm married. To my career? My mother despairs of me ever settling down, hence the blind dates she keeps arranging. Do you want to settle down?" The direct question caught Catherine off guard. "I don't know. I've spent so long building my career that I'm not sure there's room for anything else. Does that sound awful? Sounds honest. It's better than pretending. You want something you don't? After dinner, Connor drove Catherine to the one small motel in town where she could stay the night. As they pulled up, he turned to her. You know, if you need something to do tomorrow while waiting for your car, Riley has a soccer game at 10. You're welcome to come watch if you're bored. Catherine should have said no. Should have made calls, arranged for a car service, gotten back to her real life. Instead, she heard herself say, I'd like that. The next morning, Catherine found herself sitting on bleachers in casual clothes she'd bought at the local general store, watching 8-year-olds chase a soccer ball with more enthusiasm than skill. Connor sat beside her, cheering for Riley, who was surprisingly good despite her small size. She's talented, Catherine observed. She works hard at it, practices every day after school. You're really involved in her life. That's admirable. She's my kid. Of course I'm involved. Isn't that what parents are supposed to do? Catherine thought about her own upbringing. Her father was always working, her mother always busy with social obligations. She'd been raised by nannies and sent to boarding school. Love was never in question, but presents had been sparse. Not all parents do, Catherine said quietly. After the game, Riley ran over, sweaty and grinning. Did you see my goal? Did you see it? I did.
I do.
We're amazing. Are you staying for the team party? We're having pizza? Catherine looked at Connor, who shrugged. You're welcome to stay. If you want, she wanted to. More than she'd wanted anything in a long time. So she stayed, eating cheap pizza with a group of 80-year-olds and their families, feeling more relaxed than she had in years. That afternoon, when her car was finally ready, Catherine felt oddly reluctant to leave. Thank you for your hospitality, she said to Connor as she prepared to go. This wasn't how I expected my weekend to go, but it was lovely. It was nice having you around. Riley really liked you. I really liked her too. And you. The admission slipped out before Catherine could stop it. Connor smiled. I like you too, even if you are really fancy. Would it be completely crazy if I asked for your number? Maybe we could have dinner sometime, intentionally this time? It would be crazy. You live in the city, I live here. You wear real diamonds? I fix cars. We're from completely different worlds. I know. But maybe that's not a bad thing. They did have dinner. And then another. Catherine found herself making the drive to Connor's small town on weekends. Something she'd never have imagined doing for anyone. She attended Riley's soccer games, helped with homework, learned to appreciate the slower pace of small-town life. 6 months later, Connor visited Catherine's city penthouse with Riley. The contrast was stark. His work-worn hands against her designer furniture, Allie's excited energy in the carefully curated space. This is your life, Connor said, looking around. It's impressive, but it's also completely different from ours. I know. Does that have to be a problem? I don't know. Can you really see yourself giving this up? Living in a small town, dating a mechanic, being a stepmom to an 8-year-old? Catherine looked at Riley, who was pressing her face against the floor-to-ceiling windows, marveling at the city view. Then at Connor, who'd shown her that love didn't require polish, just presence. I can see myself trying, if you'll let me. It wasn't simple. Catherine couldn't leave her job completely, but she restructured her role to allow remote work several days a week. She bought a small house in Connor's town, keeping the city apartment for when she needed to be at the office. Riley struggled at first with sharing her father's attention. But Catherine was patient, never trying to replace her mother, just being consistently present. 2 years after her car broke down, Connor proposed, not with an expensive ring, but with a simple band he'd designed himself at the local jeweler, incorporating a small diamond from Catherine's grandmother's ring that she'd given him. At their wedding, Riley was maid of honor. During the reception, Catherine gave a toast. I came to this town for a blind date that never happened. Instead, my car broke down and I met a mechanic who changed everything. Connor taught me that success isn't measured in quarterly earnings or property developments. It's measured in soccer games attended and homework helped with and quiet evenings on the porch. He showed me that the life I thought I wanted was just the life I'd been told to want. Connor added his own words. Catherine could have called a car service and never looked back. Instead, she stayed for pizza with 8-year-olds. She chose to try something different. And she's given Riley and me something we didn't know we were missing. A family that's complete. The woman who'd missed her blind date had found something better in a small-town garage. And the single dad mechanic had discovered that sometimes the right person arrives when you're not looking, broken down on a rural road, ready to be fixed in ways that have nothing to do with engines.